Good morning, y'all. This is Stephanie with Polly on the Prairie, and if we've met before, welcome back. And if we haven't, welcome. I'm super glad you're here. Today we're on the patio. Got a little bit of sunshine coming out. We got some garden chores to do today on the patio. We're gonna put in some of our beans, I think, and we're gonna take down part of our bean tower. This contender beans that I have in there. I've got some contender and some dragon tongue beans in there, and they're just about done. They've been there since the early season, and the dragon tongues really haven't put off anything for me, but the contender beans have run their course. They're on their second or third flush, and the beans just aren't coming through as well. So I'm going to put some more beans in my beds, and we're just going to take those ones out, and that'll make good space for our strawberry plants. So we'll get those moved over today, because our strawberry tower, there are runners on runners on runners over here. So we'll get that taken care of and take you along, maybe show you a little bit of our patio garden as we're looking at our cucumbers growing over our arch trellis really good. And our Amish paste tomatoes are still going. They're awfully bushy, but they're still blowing and going as best as they can. The summer garden's really starting to kind of fall out because of the heat. This week it's another 100+ degree week, 5 to 7 days of super high temperatures. So we're going to try to get some stuff taken care of. I'm not too worried about seeding the beans right now with the heat, because they should do just fine. But we'll go ahead and start some of our fall crops inside, and you'll get to see some of that too. So come along, we'll do some garden stuff today. We're gonna see if we can't fill in this garden bed today. I've got some tips of some old corn stalks left here in the back. I want to fill most of this with beans and maybe save some room for some brassicas. Here is my trellis of cucumbers. Although they look a little sad, I'm super happy with this. This is my first year growing cucumbers over a trellis like this, and it is goals for sure. I've got all kinds of little cucumbers. Even my littlest laggy plant has the tiniest cucumber on it. And of course garden gnomes to guard the whole thing. Up and over my table. On this side we've got our very dense and overgrown Amish paste tomatoes. I've harvested a decent amount. This side, the tomatoes back here in the back in these raised beds have had much less issue with nutrients and watering, but they still like to give me heck. My one lonely okra plant. This thing has been in the ground for a hot minute, and we'll see if it's gonna decide to blow up. We've got some little growth there. Grow, little okra, grow. Gnomes. Back here I've got my overly shaded out row of peppers. I much anticipated these Amish paste tomatoes to grow more to this trellis. Part of that is my fault, obviously, but alas, they have not. Granted, that kite's way up there, but they got unruly really fast and have pretty well shaded out those peppers for a long time. This one does look much better than it did. So there's still some hope that they might put off some peppers. These should be banana and not a pino. So see how those go. swinging around. Balsam have pretty well finished up. These seed pods are super neat. If you've never seen a balsam seed pod before, let me see if I can find a good one here. So these guys, all you have to do is like push on them and they pop open, and then you got your seeds on the inside. How neat is that? I'm gonna set these here for later because we got stuff to do today. And then down from our balsams, we've got our bean tower. This guy has tried. The provider beans have done great. Maybe a little less than normal, but they've done great. And I'm gonna break my own heart, I think, because they're still trying to produce. I've got some little flowers that have turned into buds and that are gonna try to make me beans, because these things just go and go and go. But these guys, they make me look like a liar, right? Because you can see they have blossoms. But these are my dragon tongue beans. Yes, I know, they do look a little pitiful and yellow. But it's been really, really hot, and it's about to get really, really hot again. But these guys have not produced at all. See, there's one down there that's got a little bitty blossom on it. All kinds of growth. But I think I'm at least going to take the provider beans out of this one and then put some of my strawberry runners in there, because these strawberries, you see all these runners? I'm probably gonna have to fight the carpet for these things, because they will literally root into the carpet. And I've already like tried to put runners in. You can see the little like orange pots. They're just Dollar Tree pots, and I just threw some soil in there and stuck them in there as best I could. But these guys are going crazy. Fun story about my strawberries is I got all of my strawberry starts from a lady like 45 minutes away for $1 a piece. I think I spent $10, maybe $15 on strawberry starts, and she gave me a bunch extra because she was just clearing her strawberry beds of runners and chopped them and sent them here. So I had probably 15 or 16 plants. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 16 plants in that set when I started, and now I probably have double that. So I'm gonna plan on trying to fill this second tower with beans, because like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and plant a bunch of new beans in this bed, and probably this bed over here too. In the middle, amongst all my trash, I've got Brussels sprouts. These things have stumped me to some extent. This is my first year growing Brussels sprouts. I really just like the way that they look. I eat Brussels sprouts. I think they're delicious. I had some balsamic roasted ones on vacation, and I would love to do that. But they're not all that big. In some of the plants, like, let's come back over to this one over here. They've like burst into rosettes, kind of. So I'm like, are they too far gone? Do I harvest them now? If anybody has more Brussels sprout knowledge than I do, let me know, because I'm just growing really funny looking trees. Back behind the Brussels sprouts, you can see I've got some nasturtiums. They don't look super great. But I think I'm going to replant some here soon. Because these can actually grow up until frost. And they're so pretty. So super pretty. With my marigolds. And all of that business. There's my basil. You can see it's trying to go to seed, and for the sake of the bees, I've let a couple stems go ahead and flower, but I am trying to keep it plucked to where it doesn't all flower on me and I still have some usable, because I haven't dealt with all of my tomatoes yet. So this is our patio garden. Okay, the sun has come out, which means my time here is limited. But this is my strawberry sour. Like we said, I've got a couple of these strawberry pots that I'm going to try to pot up from here into the other tower. It looks like I might have left them here long enough that the roots are tapping down into the other pots, which means I might have to break a few roots here and there, but I am not super worried about it. I'm going to make sure these guys have a nice, cozy place to go. Where are you? I'm fully prepared to like trim runners, but at this point, my runners have runners who have more runners, you know? I feel like this is just strawberry problems nobody asked for. Like, what the heck? Do you see this? Okay, so we've got strawberry there. Okay, these strawberries, sorry my video cut off there, are like strawberry Christmas lights. This is what I have so far. And like each one has at least one or two daughter plants on it, and these are daughter plants themselves. So this is going to be a lot of strawberries real fast. But like I've got this one down here that's rooted to the plant up here. See, like I've got a couple 3 beans here. Not many. They have some purple markings on them, but I'm pretty sure it's just stress. Because these are just probably the second or third round of beans from these plants, and they're just not super happy. So I'm gonna take that whenever I think about it, whenever I'm cutting these guys down, because I do feel bad. It's okay. Try to take my mulch and back it off a little bit here. I am gonna make a mess and try to leave as many roots in there as possible, because beans, we know, are nitrogen fixing. Pete, the little gnome, he has to take a break. Beans are nitrogen fixing, so these roots that I leave down in here will contribute some nitrogen to the soil. And in these teeny tiny pots, resources are so limited. You have to fertilize all the time, it feels like. But beans are pretty hands-off. Like, I don't find myself having to add anything to my beans, because they just do well. Just do well. So I'm just chopping down what I can of these plants, pushing my mulch back, and then we'll get them ready for the strawberries to transfer over. I did it every other set of pots, so like this one, and the bottom one should all be provider beans, and these ones in the middle should be the dragon tongue. Go away. I'm not super worried about accidentally chucking the soil out of these, because I'm going to be replacing a decent amount of it with those strawberry transplants, so. While I'm doing this, I guess I can save some time for editing me whenever I go to get this all edited for y'all. But my latest journal entry and garden thought is that tomatoes are a pain in the ass. Everybody loves tomatoes. I've grown tomatoes the last 3 years, really. I don't love tomatoes. I love tomato sauces. But historically, like, fresh tomatoes and I don't really care all that much about fresh tomatoes. You're doing so well. Shucky darn. Grow more beans. Sorry. I've grown tomatoes for a couple years now. I've grown lots of things for probably 10 years now, but I digress. Tomatoes are needy little things. Like, too much water and they split. Not enough water, blossom end rot. Like, then there seems to be no in between. Like, I try to keep them watered, and goodness forbid it rains. Oh no, then they're all gonna split. Like, you guys are something. And I'm not going to stop growing tomatoes. And this is probably my first really successful year growing tomatoes. So I guess it probably just comes with the territory. And if maybe I had some different territory, I might be better inclined and equipped for tomatoes. But most of my tomatoes are out front in large pots. So I mean, I think I've done pretty good for what I've got. I'm gonna give these dragon tongue beans one last shot. One last shot, I mean it. And we'll transfer our strawberries over. All of the strawberries. Okay, we'll take a follow-up look at our strawberry tower that we transferred from. You can see I've got a few more of the runners potted up on the bottom here. I'm gonna wait until after this heat wave has come through to transfer those over, because it's just too darn hot. And this is what our tower looks like afterwards. You can see I didn't bother trying to pot up the runners that came with the strawberries that I transplanted. But so far, that's a runner, but so far they are doing pretty okay. It looks like I'm gonna lose this one over here for whatever reason, but I've got plenty more where that came from, so I'm honestly not too concerned. And look at these dragon tongues trying to make me a liar. Well, I hope you do. I hope you make me lie so hard, because I really am excited about dragon tongue beans. Look at that baby bean. There's a baby bean. Isn't it terrible how excited we get about these things? But I'm excited. That is super cool. But yeah, here's our strawberry bean tower now, since we've got half that up and running. And now we'll finish our garden chores. We're gonna amend our beds for some fall planting today. So in my bucket here I've got just some compost. You can see I've pulled back the mulch, and I'm gonna just top dress this bed here. Okay, we've got our two little ends of our bed amended, and I've got my spots marked out. I'm gonna get some beans in the ground. I'm pretty sure I've been calling these provider beans, but I use these contender beans from Baker Creek. We're gonna get some purple TP beans in here later, but today we're gonna do these. All right, beans are sleeping on both sides. I'll water everything in for my normal morning watering, and then we'll see what happens. And by the way, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I have ever emptied a seed packet. That is a special kind of special. I've planted enough food that I have used all of the seeds in this bag. Win. Alright, now that we got our strawberries done and taken care of, and our beans put in, I think we're going to have to stop today because the sun's going to stop me. So, without getting out here and melting into the patio, we'll be done for today. But I was glad that we were able to get some strawberries planted. I think I transplanted 10 or more plants over there. So I'm pretty excited about how these strawberries are going to go. And then once those dragon tongue beans are done, I'll move the rest of the strawberries over, and they'll have a place to stay to overwinter. to see what we can get next year. But since these guys are June bearing berries, they're in the stage of putting off as many runners as they can before they just are done for the season and for the year. And then we'll see what they come around with next spring. And we'll follow along and see how everything grows on and see what's in store for our fall garden. Thanks for coming to see me today. I hope to see you again.